My name is Navin Varma. I'm a neurologist in the community. I was elected by yourselves. Thank you for the honor to serve. As colleagues, we've come together yet again to learn, and I think this demonstrates the beauty of medicine in many ways. We are all humble enough to still want to learn, and we don't learn for our own sake, we learn for our patients' sake. So I applaud our profession and our collegiality that this conference really represents. So thank you all for attending. I have a few announcements. When you leave here at the end of the morning, they'll be setting up for lunch. So please take all your stuff. If you do leave your stuff, we'll try and collect it, but you don't want to be waiting in line afterwards trying to find, that's my computer. No, that's not my computer. So please do take all your stuff as you leave. Dr. Epperly, who will be giving a talk later this morning, has a book called Fractured America's Broken Healthcare System, which he'll be available for signing after the lecture at about 1:30. So if you want to get a hold of that, that'll be helpful. I think since I've been coming to this conference, I've been amazed at the speakers and the quality of the speakers and learned tremendous and always wanted to have more information afterwards. So I hope you will be inspired likewise. Tonight, we will be having McKay Hospital will be sponsoring the Dinosaur Night. So please bring your families out and come on out and join us for that. Tomorrow, Ogden Regional Medical Center will be having a reception. And at that reception, alas for you guys, when they asked me to do this, when the board gave me the details, they said I get to give my personality to this. So you will be exposed to the Divya School of Dance for Indian dance and some Indian music. So hopefully you can join us for that reception that Ogden Regional is setting up for us. When I talk to my patients, I never quite say that golf is a sport, but I guess some people believe that. And apparently there are still availabilities for the golf game on Saturday, the 9-hole golf tournament. Friday. Please do sign up for that if that is of interest to you. I'm using my cell phone right now. You guys should not. Please turn it down to vibration, set it to mute. I know what it feels like to be tethered. I know how secure it feels to be tethered, but you know, we need to listen today. I do want to thank the Ogden Clinic, the Utah Academy of Family Physicians, the National Kidney Foundation of Utah and Idaho. They've been partnering with us for some time, and they have again partnered with us this year to help bring this on, and we appreciate their support. This is the 12th year that Weber State has joined us, and today we have Dr. Michael Vaughan as a kickoff speaker. Dr. Vaughan is the provost of Weber State University. He was previously the dean at the John B. Goddard School of Business and Economics with a research interest in antitrust enforcement. We don't think about those things, do we? He has consulted with publicly traded corporations as well as government agencies, including the Federal Trade Commission. Presently serves on several corporate and nonprofit boards. Earned his doctorate at the University of Nebraska, completed a postdoctoral fellowship at Princeton University with a program funded by the Pew Trust Charitable Foundation. Please welcome him as we ask him to start the program.
Good morning. It's both a pleasure and an honor to be invited to come here and welcome you to this conference. I'm delighted to be here with you this morning. I thought I would tell you a couple of things that are going on at the Weber State University campus. As a public institution, what we do should be connected with Ogden and the broader community, and if it's not connected, we're doing something wrong. So I thought I would just let you know about a couple of things that have been occupying our attention. This is the 125th anniversary for Weber State University, and we've had a number of events to commemorate that anniversary. A couple of weeks ago, we had really our biggest event of the year, and that's our commencement ceremony. And in a group this large, I would assume perhaps someone was there, but maybe I'm wrong, but did anyone attend the Weber State University commencement or one of our commencements this year? Raise your hand if you did. No? Oh, I see a hand. Okay. Commencement is a celebration of what the graduates have accomplished, but for me in my position as provost, it's also kind of a visual representation for me of what's going on campus. So it's really kind of a reality check with regard to the graduates that we're producing. And one of the things that I do at the individual commencement ceremonies is shake the hands of the graduates, and typically I ask the graduates one or two questions, and it's amazing what you can learn just in that brief amount of time when you're shaking someone's hand. So one of my typical questions is, what are you going to do next? What's next for you? Or I sometimes ask, what did you think of your program? And this year I was at the College of Business commencement, and I was shaking the graduates' hands. And the College of Business has quite a large group of graduates from Asian countries. So I was greeting these graduates. Quite a number of the graduates were from China. And as I shook their hand, they would tell me, for the most part, that they planned on going on to graduate school somewhere. That was a typical aspiration for these students. Then I encountered this student that looked a little older, and my assumption was it was a Japanese student. And I asked this student, what do you plan to do after graduation? And it seemed that he didn't quite understand me. So I repeated the question. He didn't understand. I asked the student then simply, what's your major? What are you getting a degree in? He didn't seem to understand that question. So I thought, this is really odd, but it's apparent to me that this student's skills in English are extremely limited. In fact, I don't think the student can speak English at all. But then we went on, and I continued to shake hands. But at the end of the ceremony, I called the dean over and called a couple of the faculty over, and I said, I know for this student, English was this student's second language, but how in the world did this student manage to get through your program and not be able to speak a word of English? And they struggle with that a bit, and then one of the faculty came up and enlightened the provost. And what had happened was the student that was graduating was from Japan, but in order to honor his father, he had asked his father to wear the cap and gown and to receive the diploma on his behalf. So the person that I was speaking to literally did not speak a word of English. And now I'm feeling really stupid because I'm torturing this father who the son wanted to honor. But that's one of the things that takes place at commencement. The other thing that I'm always conscious about is just the relative size of the different commencement ceremonies. This year we awarded almost 5,000 degrees. So largest number of degrees ever awarded at Weber State University. And one of the astonishing things for me is that 30% of those degrees were in health professions. And that's a big number. And the trend there is really astonishing because 5 years ago, that number would have been 25%, and 10 years ago, that number would have been 17%. So we're seeing tremendous growth in the health professions, and that 30% number actually understates the proportion of our students that will ultimately work in one of the medical fields, because that number is only the College of Health Professions. We also have a College of Science, excellent College of Science, and I believe on Friday we're going to do a groundbreaking ceremony for a new science building on campus. So if anyone would like to attend that groundbreaking along with the governor, we'd be delighted to have you there. But a very large proportion of our science students have an intention of going into medical school. So they're pre-med students. So the number is actually higher. So to put this in perspective, I came to Weber State University in 1981, and as I look at number of faculty, number of graduates, size of budget, in 1981, I thought Weber State was a respectably sized university, and it was. But if I were to take the proportion of Weber State University today that is devoted to the health professions, it's larger than the entirety of Weber State University back in 1981. So again, just tremendous growth in the health professions. More students for Weber State also means more faculty. So one of the things that we've been involved with this year and last year is recruiting faculty. So over the past 2 years, we've recruited over 100 new faculty members to Weber State. And one of the things that we face when we go out and recruit new faculty members is we almost always go out of state. It's really just the nature of higher education. We recruit a very, very small fraction of our faculty members from in-state. We recruit the majority of our faculty members from out of state, some of those faculty members internationally. I just looked at the list of faculty members we had hired during the past year because you see curious things. The single largest feeder state for Weber State University this year was Ohio. And that simply reflects the fact that Ohio State University is a very big university, and this year we happened to hire a large number of faculty members from Ohio. One of the things we do when we recruit faculty from out of state is we have to sell the region. So a lot of the people that come in for interviews are like I was 30-some years ago. When I came here to interview at Weber State University, I had never spent an overnight trip in Utah. I'd been to the Salt Lake Airport but never gotten out of the airplane. So this was my first trip to Utah. And people that are coming to Utah for the first time really don't know a lot about what to expect. So they see some things that are attractive and make it easy for us to recruit them. The single biggest, I think, factor that makes it easier for us to recruit is the scenic beauty of Ogden, that we're flanked by a beautiful mountain to the north, a beautiful mountain to the east. If they're snow-covered, they're, I think, in my opinion, particularly beautiful. The mountains give us incredible recreational opportunities. When I came here, I never skied. Now I'm an avid skier and ski 15, 20 times a year. I'd never mountain biked, and now that's one of my favorite sports. So when we recruit faculty, that's a really big selling point. I think that's apparent to everyone. I think everyone gets the fact that this is a beautiful place to live. One of the things that I think people don't recognize about Ogden, and I think it's underappreciated, is that Ogden is increasingly, I think, kind of a cool place to live. And let me tell you a couple of recruiting stories that illustrate that point. I was home one Friday evening and I got a text with a photo attached to it. And it was the chair of our economics department, Doris Guida-Stevenson, and she sent me a photo and said, "Look who I'm with." And it was a picture of Doris and Christine Lagarde. And most of you here may not know who Christine Lagarde is, but she was the Minister of Finance in France for a number of years. Speculation was that she was going to run for president of France, but she took a little different direction. She's now head of the International Monetary Fund. And Forbes recently ranked her as one of the 8th most powerful people in the world. So she texted me this picture of our economics chair and Christine Lagarde, and I said, "Are you at a conference somewhere?" Because I assumed she was at a conference. She goes, "No, I'm in a bar down on 25th Street." She was actually at McCool's, and she walked in the door, and because she's an economist, she recognized Christine Lagarde and said, "What are you doing in Ogden?" And her response was, "I heard this was a pretty good place to ski." Different story, we recently recruited a faculty member away from Colorado State University. And Colorado is also a pretty nice place to live. The reason we were able to recruit this faculty member is because she had made trips to the Sundance Film Festival for the past 5 years. So she had been in the Peri-Egyptian Theater just to our south. She was an avid film buff and thought it would be really neat to work in the same town that has the Sundance Film Festival every year. So just a couple of examples. I think Ogden is viewed by outsiders as something of a cool place to live, and as people that have lived here for some period of time, we may not realize that. Again, I'm delighted to have the opportunity to welcome you this morning. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to meet some new people, and I hope you have a pleasant and productive conference. Thank you.